Hey, you might have heard the Steelers have signed Aaron Rodgers to a one-year deal worth $13.65 million. According to Adam Schefter, their third option after making a play for Matthew Stafford, then not reaching an agreement with Justin Fields. Fields and Rodgers, well, essentially, I guess they've swapped teams, right? They're going to meet opening weekend in New York. All right, here to get to the bottom of it all, Steelers reporter Brooke Pryor, senior NFL writer Jeremy Fowler. And you covered Pittsburgh back in the Big Ben days, right?
I did.
They've been looking for a quarterback ever since.
Steelers beat Unite, and they are. Yeah.
There you go. Brooke, it's been 80 days since he first visited the Steelers until this official signing, and now we have mandatory minicamp coming up. So how are they going to get him up to speed?
Well, Hannah, Mr. Rodgers arrived to his new neighborhood Friday night. He was in the building on Saturday, greeted by General Manager Omar Khan at the front door. He did not have to go around the back door like last time when he snuck in with a Chevy Malibu. And all signs point to him being at mandatory minicamp on Tuesday. That's the expectation, where he will then talk with the media after Tuesday's practice. And I would expect things to continue to be business as usual in Pittsburgh throughout all of this chaos, because the Steelers remained optimistic over those 80 days that this is eventually where things would end up. And Mike Tomlin has a saying that you got to hop on the moving train. Kim Hayward said a couple days ago that the train was going to keep on moving. So the good news here for Aaron Rodgers is that, like, it has barely left the station. He might be 41 years old, but I think he can still run and catch up and jump on the caboose as it heads out.
Yeah, well, you got to keep the train on the tracks, right? Rodgers won MVP back in 2021. The years since then have not gone as well. He ranked 25th in QBR last season after, of course, missing the entire 2023 season with that torn Achilles. Back in 2022, it was 26th in QBR. And they do say that it takes a full year at least to really fully rebound from an Achilles injury, Jeremy. What are you hearing about expectations, particularly with that Arthur Smith offense?
Yeah, Hannah, teams I've talked to believe that Aaron Rodgers at this stage is a middle-of-the-pack quarterback. He's probably ranked 15 to 17 among the top 32. He's not that top 10 guy anymore, but the Steelers do believe that they're getting the best field vision from the pocket they've had since Ben Roethlisberger. They believe he's still got plenty of arm strength, and Jets coaches I've talked to think that, look, he was a lot better than the stats showed last year. It's just simply a mobility issue. It's also, how is he going to coalesce with Arthur Smith? The good news is they've been on the phone a couple times. Rodgers has talked with not only Mike Tomlin, but Smith about how they're going to reconfigure the offense, find a sweet spot where Rodgers can still do all the stuff he likes to do at the line of scrimmage, still stay true to the system. Watch, the Steelers could also add a playmaker at some point. They had Gabe Davis, a veteran free agent, in for a visit last week, but nothing is imminent at that point.
And by the way, Aaron Rodgers didn't have to wait till he officially became a Steeler to start working with some of his weapons. He was doing a workout with DK Metcalf in California about a month and a half ago. He's already following the other Mr. Rogers adage, look for the helpers. I think DK Metcalf could be a big help to this offense and to Aaron Rodgers when they hook up here in Pittsburgh.
Brooke. Now, I know you're going to be able to be in a press conference situation with him next week, and there's a lot of people wondering if indeed he is married, because he was sporting that ring on this finger at his signing and again at the Kentucky Derby. So can you get to the bottom of that, please?
I would love to.
Yeah. We asked
the story you were born to tell.
We asked Jeremy about it, and what was your response? He's married to?
Married to the game.
Married to football.
Married
there
to
you go. We know
married
that.
to the Steelers now.
We know that as much. Brooke and Jeremy, thanks. Great journalism here.
Million guaranteed. He'll be wearing number 8, not number 12. We now bring in senior NFL reporter Jeremy Fowler into SportsCenter. Jeremy, the wait is over. We can all finally move on with our lives. Rodgers officially in Pittsburgh. So what's the fallout around the league?
Well, Scooby, I'll start with Atlanta, where Kirk Cousins was hoping to get out of town, be a starter for a new team, and he looked at Pittsburgh as he could be a potential plan B for them. Well, that is off the table, and it is a dry quarterback market for Cousins to try to get in a trade. Atlanta hasn't really shown a willingness to trade Cousins much, as one source told me that if they were willing to take maybe $7 or $8 million on an offset from another team 2 months ago, this could have got done. But now Cleveland has a bunch of quarterbacks in its room. Pittsburgh has Rodgers. The New Orleans Saints are the only team that could have any sort of opening, but they're probably not going to trade in division. So maybe Atlanta holds on to him through training camp, sees if there's any sort of injury. Also, Minnesota Vikings greatly affected here because they started to roll with J.J. McCarthy this offseason. Rodgers definitely had interest in playing for the Vikings. He was looking at playing for one of those elite-type play callers like Kevin O'Connell. But the Vikings' plan is clear. For what I'm told, they saw this as a 3-year window right now to win a championship with a really good quarterback they like on a rookie deal. They can build around him with some pieces. So they're going to go for it without Rodgers officially now.
Yeah, it's going to be fun to see what the Vikings can do with J.J. McCarthy at quarterback. We know he won a championship with the Michigan Wolverines. Now the Steelers are one of 25 teams to have mandatory minicamp this upcoming week. So what other contract decisions have to be made?
Well, let's start with Terry McLaurin, who's been highly productive for Washington. He's kind of been their Ironman over the years, playing through bad quarterbacks. He got an extension 3 years ago. Well, now he's looking for another one, a year away from free agency. And last time he stayed away from off-season workouts before he got a deal. It was a bit uncomfortable. We'll see what happens with minicamp. Does he report? There is a question about that right now. Certainly Washington wants to keep him in the fold long term. They've had some talks, but not enough progress yet to get to any sort of deal. Then we're going to flip the page here. We got Nick Chubb, free agent, one of the top free agent names still out there. I was told that he's hoping to sign here soon, and maybe he gets something done before minicamp, gets into a team. 4-time Pro Bowler. The return to Cleveland's not totally off the table from what I'm told, but probably unlikely because of their draft plans. They drafted multiple running backs. I'm told Houston could be one to watch here. They've been looking at that running back market, maybe adding somebody with Joe Mixon. Then there's another back there, James Cook. He needs a new contract, only 25 years old. He's considered a top 8 to 10 running back in this league. They've had some talks, but it's been quiet of late, so he's been away from the team during OTAs. Will that continue? Now, these players get fined if they miss minicamp, so depends on your strategy, but it's going to be interesting because you got Derrick Henry, Saquon Barkley, both got big deals this offseason between $20 and $15 million per year. Cook feels like, hey, I'm highly productive and I'm a lot younger than those guys, so can they find a sweet spot on the guaranteed money? This offseason will tell. Yeah,
Cook's tied a Bills franchise record with 16 rushing touchdowns last season, so he is worth the money. But Jeremy, let me just say, I'm missing you in studio, bro. I thought you were going to be over here. I was looking left and right, and here we are.
I had to come from the basement today, but I will be back soon, I promise.
All right, I hope so. We appreciate it.
Give me 7 games and give me the NFL, where the Browns OTAs continue today. This is a team that went from the playoffs in 23 to only 3 wins last year, and it seems to be commonplace for the Browns. Who's going to be the starting quarterback, and will they be good? Deshaun Watson is hurt. Kenny Pickett, Joe Flacco on the roster, as are the rookies, Dillon Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders. Offensive coordinator Tommy Rees weighed in on the quarterbacks, starting with Shedeur. That's new on SportsCenter.
Yeah, he's worked his tail off. You know, he's really putting a lot of work, as all those guys are. But you can tell on the mental side of the game and learning the system and calling it and having that rhythm to it. You know, he's put a lot of work and time and effort into that. And then when you do that, the game starts to slow down and you can focus on finding completions. And he's done a nice job of that as camp progressed.
At this point, can you realistically see any one of these 4 guys winning this job?
I mean, yeah, you can see them all winning the job, I think, right? And so in terms of the competition, we're so early in the process. We're so early in evaluating it. But yeah, I think, we have a good group of guys that continue to push one another. And by the time September rolls around, we'll be ready to go.
Adam Schefter, Booger McFarland here. Tommy Rees made a good point there. It is so early. I mean, it is, June 3rd, June 4th? No need to make a decision now. But what have you been told about the Browns quarterback situation in this process?
Well, we don't usually see rookie mid-round draft picks win starting jobs. It does happen. Russell Wilson did it. Dak Prescott did it. But you have to play exceptionally well. And they don't know whether Dillon Gabriel or Shedeur Sanders is going to be able to do that just yet. It's too early to say. And that's why they traded for Kenny Pickett. That's why they brought back Joe Flacco, because they're going to probably have to rely on a veteran to start the season. I think the thinking around the league would be that Flacco is the favorite. He's been there before. He's won the comeback player of the year. But Kenny Pickett will have a chance to shine through a great touchdown pass today during OTAs to Jerry Jeudy. They just wrapped up practice. Everybody but Shedeur Sanders took reps with the first-team offense today for whatever that's worth. But Shedeur looked good, and he'll get his turn this summer, and everybody's going to have an opportunity to make their claim for that starting job.
And someone's getting cut, and who that cut person
or
is.
Traded.
Or traded, yeah. So that's good. They're kind of fascinating to watch for several reasons. And Booger, let's just break this down to the best-case scenario. What do you believe that is for the Browns at the quarterback position this season?
Well, they need somebody to step forward. As Shefty said, they got a lot of people in the room. You got the Deshaun Watson, his Achilles injury lingering.